Hello crafty friends, welcome to today's clean and simple card making video. The other day I saw a picture of a clean and simple card that had a piece of hessian on the front, and I thought, oh, that looks good, but I haven't got any hessian. How can I create it? And I thought, well, I've got some linen-y texture stamps here. I could use that to give the illusion of hessian. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got a card panel here cut with a stitched rectangle die. It's mixed media paper, but you could do this on any kind of card. I just happen to have some mixed media paper cut down, ready to go, so I'm going to use that. And I want to mask off an area with a bit of a raggedy edge. And this will hopefully give the illusion of a bit of fabric in this area. I want to heat emboss my stamping, so I'm just treating it with anti-static powder. And I'm going to use this texture stamp to stamp on in my Vintage Photo Distress Oxide, which is the closest pigment ink that I've got to hessian colour. And I want pigment ink so that I can just sprinkle some embossing powder straight on top. That didn't work at all, did it? I'm going to take this off and put it in this stamp positioner because it's got a foam pad in it, and that can help with stamps that don't stamp particularly well. And I'm going to put my head right over and try and line it up, but I'm not going to worry if it doesn't line up properly because it's a higgledy-piggledy pattern. That worked a little bit better, but what I'm going to do is just use the stamp without the block. And that's fine, it doesn't matter if it's kind of overlapping. My plan was to stamp it a few times anyway to fill in some space. I've rotated the stamp, I think, to get a bit of a different direction. I think that will do. Now my heat embossing is going to give this a bit of a glossy finish. So it's not going to be like hessian, because hessian's not glossy, but that's okay. So that's done. Let's peel off the masking. I'm very happy with that. It gives the impression of some fabric on there, and that's what I wanted. There we go, I've mounted that on a card blank now. So now for a bit of embellishing. To embellish my card, I'm going to add some flowers. So I'm going to colour this bit of smooth white card with some saltwater taffy. Just swipe it on like that. I've sorted my flowers into size order, and as I often do, I'm going to put a smaller flower on top of a larger flower to create a bunch of 2-layer flowers. I won't use them all on this card. So all I do is take my flower, the top flower, dip it into a bit of high-tack glue, and I like to use high-tack glue for this because it's so tacky that when you put the small flower on top of the large flower, it stays where you put it even though the glue isn't dry yet. So while my flower's dry, I'm going to do my foliage. I'm going to use this die, not as a whole piece. I'm going to snip the die cut down and have little bits of it poking out from behind the flowers. So I'll cut a couple of those. My foliage is ready to go. My flowers should be dry enough now, or stuck enough now, to be able to do a little bit of work on them. So I'm using this little embossing tool to press down in the middle of the flowers, and it just forces up the petals so they curl up a bit. You can obviously keep them flat if you don't want any dimension on your card. When I do the smaller flowers, I use the smaller end of this. To add a little bit of glitz and glamour, I'm going to just brush over the petals with some gold gilding wax. I'll buff those off with a microfiber cloth just to get any big globs of wax off so it doesn't rub off on anything else. If you find this whole process flattens your flowers, you can always press them with the embossing tool. Right, I want to put a few flowers on, and again I'm going to use high tack glue because it'll stop my flowers skittering around. For my sentiment, I think I want something quite big, so I've got this Thinking of You grungy label stamp, and I'm going to heat emboss that in gold. Because we've already got gold on the petals, I'll use my mucky embossing ink pad because I'm using an opaque embossing powder, so it doesn't matter if my stamping shows up. Now that's cooled and set, I can cut it out. So that can go there. I'm going to put it on a little bit of foam tape. This is very thin foam tape. It's only 1mm thick. So it gives things a little bit of lift, but doesn't stop things going through the UK postal system as a regular letter. Time for a little bit of foliage, I think. I'll just chop some off of this. Now for a little bit more tacky glue, I'll just dip the bottom part of the leaves underneath and then tuck them under the flowers. And you know what's coming next? Some Nouveau drops in pale gold for the flower centres. I do have a 20 ways to use a Nouveau drops and the like coming soon, so if you're interested in that, then do subscribe and ring the notification bell. Right, I think that will do. I'm pleased with the way my fake hessian turned out. I think I'm going to have a little trip to my crafty charity shop to see if they've got any interesting scraps of fabric that I could use on cards. Let me know if you'd be interested in a maybe 10 ways to use fabric on cards video. If you've enjoyed today's video and it's given you a few ideas, please leave a thumbs up, let me know in the comments, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe and ring the notification bell, and I will see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching, bye for now.